So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, Aston Villa fans. Welcome to For the Love of Pomegranate podcast. I was in a world of my own there watching Monaco and Barcelona. As Monaco are gone 2-1 up against Barcelona now, and I completely forgot that I clicked on go live in the podcast. So that'll tell you where my mind is at the moment. As Paddy's trying to figure out where. I hope you can hear me, Paddy, because we were doing a bit of messing around with regards to the audio beforehand there to try and limit the echo or the feedback that comes from Paddy's mic, but I think we've sorted it anyway because I can't hear it.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you anyway, yes.
Okay. That's all right.
That's the main thing.
There's a lot of people in there, I'm sure, wouldn't like to hear me, but anyway, there you go.
I know. Yeah. And as I say, that mic is all over the place, and I think change it back there now, so we should be all good. How are you doing, Paddy? It's been an eventful week.
It's been a long week, and I'll be happy to see Friday with everything that's gone on this week. I'm tired. Looking forward to the weekend. Obviously, we got another big game. Huge game. Every game is going to be huge. And we're all hoping that we're not dealing with a Champions League hangover that I'm sure all the experts will be just loving to chat about if we fail to do a job on Wolves at the weekend. But look, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, Wolves aren't on the greatest run since March. I think I read that somewhere today. I think Stato had something up. If you see Stato had, I can't remember what it was, if they lost 8 of their last 14 games or 8 of their last 11 games or something. They obviously haven't had the best start to the season either. In their last 6 games, they've only picked up 1 point. And they're drawn 1 last 3, I think, to start the season so far. So it's not the greatest start to the season for Wolves or for Gary O'Neill, but they're still going to be a formidable test at the weekend. They've made some signings, Paddy, but probably not as many as they wanted to make over the summer. And obviously they brought in a striker because Wolves have been pretty much playing without a striker for the last God knows how long. And I don't know how it's gone on, how they've let it go that long. But they brought in the Norwegian guy, Larson, is coming. Is he Norwegian? He's from up there somewhere anyway. And they've brought him in. And they brought in a Brazilian midfielder, Andre, as well. So I thought they looked good. Yeah, I agree with Bruce here. Is mentioning here that they were. I don't think they've played poorly at the start of the season. They just haven't gotten the results. So hopefully Villa can keep the pressure on them over the weekend and not let them get the result that they want.
Yeah, I watched most of the game at the weekend against Newcastle. I thought they were pretty unlucky, to be honest.
Yeah,
I thought that could have went either way, but Newcastle obviously, when they scored 2 goals in 5 minutes, 76 and 81 or something like that, and it just knocked the steam out of Wolves really. Like they tried to play decent football. Obviously, I think what we have is stronger than what they have, and I think we're capable of doing a job on them, even if we go behind, as in the case of Newcastle and as in our case already this season. I think everybody's a little bit more relaxed if we don't take the lead. So, yeah, and anything is possible. But yeah, they haven't had a great start. But you know yourself, you put those claret and blue shorts in front of those custody colour shorts, and anything is possible. And they have had some great results over us since they've come back into the Premier League. And I still have PTSD about that day when I arrived back at Villa Park after COVID, and they from 2-0 down beat us 3-2 with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, tough one.
Absolutely a tough one. But like at the weekend, they're going to have a bit of I'm not going to say a mixed bag of a team, but they've got a bit of injuries, Paddy. Wolves have. Rain Nouri is going to be out. Often been a thorn in our side. Always looks good whenever I see him play. Going to be missing a couple of strikers, and Enzo Gonzalez and Sasa Kalic, big beanpole striker. Also, Boubacar Traore that they bought. I think they bought him just this summer gone. He's going to be out. And Bastien, guy who I can never pronounce his surname, is also out as well. But the most worrying area, I think, for them is that they've got two doubtful centre halves in Totti and Mosquera. So like that kind of really only leaves Craig Dawson as their only. Well, they probably have Bueno as well. I think Bueno is back fit. So Craig Dawson and Santiago Bueno as their two fittest centre halves. So they will be hoping, I'd say, crossing everything that they have, that Yerson Mosquera will be fit to play at the weekend, and it's trending the way that he probably is fit to play. But when you've got him coming off being doubtful and being a small bit injured or whatever like that, I think Villa are going to fancy their chances, and maybe his Colombian counterpart John Duran might fancy his chance in knocking him, bowling him over, and scoring a couple of goals off him this weekend.
You'd have to think so. Like there will be light at the back. I'm not sure who the backup left back is going to be if Aït-Nouri doesn't make it. I'm not overly familiar with what they've done so far this season. It's probably Matt Doherty, who was absolutely annihilated on social media by his own fans at the weekend after his lackluster performance in defending that Newcastle goal. You know my opinion on Matt Doherty. I'm not going to share it with the rest of the world.
My opinion on Matt Doherty.
So I would be rubbing my hands if it's Matt Doherty playing in any of those positions from the start. So let's hope that is the case. But then again, who goes up against him on our right hand side? Do we see Bailey come back in? Do we see John McGinn in that position? It'll be interesting to see. I think if they're badly hit in defence, does he go with two up top and absolutely rattle them from the start? Because I think it's nearly been threatening that two up top of being Watkins and Duran. And let's face it, Duran has done enough to warrant the start. We all know that he has never played his best game that he started. I don't think he scored in the game that he started either. So is he going to be, show me age here now, the David Fairclough or the Tommy Johnson, or the old-fashioned super sub coming off the bench? Is that how we get the best out of John Duran? We can find out very, very quickly if he does choose to start them at the weekend. But look,
I don't think he will.
I don't think he'll start him, no. But he's Hugh. We'll just call him Hugh. Says that he scored against City when he started. Was that correct?
I don't know. I don't remember him scoring against City at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, I don't remember anyway. Somebody else there said he scored against City when he started. Just my opinion of when he started is, obviously, when you come off the bench, if you're that type of player that feeds off the energy in the ground when you come off the bench, it obviously suits him really, really well. And he just seems that type of player to me. But that doesn't mean that we've totally given up hope of starting him in any games. I'm sure that's up to the people who look after the mindset in Bodymore Heath to get him up to.
Yeah. Do you know what, actually, Paddy? Maybe he does start him. Remember Watkins had the ice pack on his foot? Maybe that, maybe we hear more about that. I don't see it as being an issue, very much so, for Watkins. I wonder, do we hear more from Unai tomorrow about Tyrone Mings maybe being ready to come into the bench? I think it's probably 2 weeks too early. I think after the November. Maybe the November is a long way away for this, but I think probably the Wickham game is probably when you're looking at the likes of Mings coming back into the fold there. But you never know, we might get some good info on that.
The Wickham game's only 5 days away.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but will he just wait until the Wickham game instead of putting him on the bench just for the sake of it? Because I'd say that probably makes more sense. The big question, Paddy, though, the big question, I think McGinn plays. I don't think Bailey will be risked either. I think he'll bring Bailey off the bench. But the big question is going to be right back again. You know, does he go with Carlos and Konza? Does he go with? I don't see him playing Nedeljkovic in. I think he probably played his hand by bringing Carlos in there and putting Konza right back. Everybody who watches the podcast here knows we prefer Konza to be centre half. But we don't question the great man, you know, because we know that Konza can certainly play brilliantly at right back as well. So it's much of a muchness, really. But I probably think that's how he's going to go with it at the weekend.
Well, you'd have to think now if we look at, like, for the life of me, I can't figure out who plays at left back other than Matt Doherty. I know he's laterally a right back. He has played at left back for Ireland. If Matt Doherty starts for Wolves, you have to think that Nedeljkovic would absolutely destroy him from moving up and down that line, and he'd have him in his pocket.
Left back. I think Tati Gomez will play at left back.
You think so? Right. Okay.
I think so. Yeah. And that's why I think you know, going with Duran, if Duran is fully fit. No, he's left back, and then Semedo will play at right back. But it's essentially they might have injury doubts, or they'll have injury doubts coming into this game over Mosquera. I think Bueno is just back. I could be wrong on that, and Tati Gomez, and that's going to be potentially at least two players in that back four. There will be injury doubts over. So you know you want to be getting those guys.
Tati Gomez, Rodrigo Gomez.
No, Rodrigo Gomez is. Okay.
I'm looking at a right-footed right back.
Rodrigo Gomez is a striker. Gomez. Yeah, Rodrigo Gomez is a striker. Yeah.
Well, this is telling me he's a right winger
type. Yeah, he's a winger. He's he signed this year. Could have been from somewhere in Portugal, but he's like a winger / second striker type guy.
And João Gomez left midfield. He started at the weekend.
Oh yeah, João Gomez plays in midfield. Yeah.
If memory serves me correct, he filled in at left back when Aït-Nouri went off.
Did he?
Anyway,
I don't know. Yeah, there's three Gomez there to be wondering about. One Brazilian and two Portuguese. So yeah, they don't make it easy. They don't make it easy in this at all. But I think Tati Gomez will probably be the person who'll come in there at left back, because he is a left back / left centre half, you know, so it just makes sense if he is fit that he comes in there. But he is a bit of an injury doubt as well, it seems. So interesting to see what way they're going to set up.
It will be.
So are you saying do you start Costa in this one?
It's just a niggle in my mind to why he hasn't started him and why he didn't bring him on when he made that change at half time on Tuesday. Why it wasn't Costa that came in. Just a little niggle in my mind. Nothing major. As I've said, I always thought everything I've seen him, he looked really comfortable. Yes, he has made a couple of mistakes, absolutely, as has Bogard, and that's ultimately why Bogard was taken off on Wednesday night. He was being absolutely destroyed by a decent enough player who was turning him inside out, and he obviously felt that Konza was going to give him a harder challenge to get past, because we all know that Konza is very high in the stats of not being dribbled past. So, you know, that was a choice that he made to put him out there. But I'd love to get inside his head and see the reasoning for playing Bogard ahead of him when you've got a player that's playing international football and previously played Champions League football. Maybe he sees these games as the opportunity to blood Bogard and sees him as the future. God knows. Or maybe he just thinks that this is an opportunity to give Bogard a run in the team, to deal with his confidence, to get his confidence up. But if he has faith in him, I can see him putting him in again on Saturday after taking him off at half time, because that would just be the mentality of it, to work on his mindset and show that he still has faith in him, even though he didn't have the best of games on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Bogard starts more so than Nedeljkovic starts. Like if it was down between the two of them, I think he puts Bogard in there. And this once again, it's nothing to do with Nedeljkovic. I think it's nothing to do with Nedeljkovic being bad or anything like that. But I think Emery probably sees him as, listen, this guy's 18. You don't need to throw him into the Wolves straight away. Let him get used to things. Let him get used to our systems. Yes, he's an athletic freak. Yes, we've seen him in the Serbian team against Nico Williams. I would start Nedeljkovic, put it this way. This isn't me saying I don't want to start him. I'm just going on the basis of probability of what would happen. I think it's either Konza at right back or Bogard at right back at the weekend, just based on what we've seen. Now, I'd give Nedeljkovic a go, but Nedeljkovic is definitely going to be playing against Wickham. Like, definitely. If Nedeljkovic isn't playing against Wickham, I have no idea what's going on with Kosta Nedeljkovic at that stage. I really don't. But I think he's probably a shoe-in for Wickham. And look, he's a fine player. We've all seen it. Like, it's not like we're seeing something different. But the club obviously have a different plan. When you sign a player for 5 years like that, you obviously have a plan for them, and you just like, not every player has to start straight away, especially when they're 18 years of age. The acclimatization might be different for him, and I'm sure we will see him. Like, I'm not worried about it at all, to be honest with you.
Just like someone to ask the question, that's all.
Yeah,
I'd love to know where these.
Rachel said that Emery was asked it, and he said that it was tactical with Costa currently. So maybe that's it. Luca Wooding says he thinks that Costa is more of a right wing back than a right back. I actually think Costa is more of a right centre half. I think over time he's going to be Branislav Ivanovic. I think it just bounces off the screen to me, and so does everybody in Serbia as well. Thinks he's going to be next Branislav Ivanovic, but he's got like
with the rawness he has at the moment. I happen to agree with Luca's theory on that he is probably more suited to a wing back role at the moment. But I do get your point as well that with a man of his size, even like I know he's very, very young, but a man of his size does look like someone who could be molded into an Ivanovic role. All right.
Yeah. Like he's a lot more athletic than Ivanovic was anyway. That's for sure. But hey, look, if he turns out like Ivanovic, we'd be all delighted. That's for sure, because he was a flaking player. I can't see anywhere else in the team that there's going to be changes. Jacob Ramsey's going to play in this game. Morgan Rogers is going to play in this game. You're certainly not breaking up the two pivots in Onana and Tielemans, considering that that's pretty much where our goals come from. Our goals come from the bench, or they come from our two central midfielders. That's what they're coming from. Yeah. So it's you're not breaking that up, and I think realistically, everything is just going to hinge on the right back position, and also if Watkins if that knock is worse than maybe it looked during the week. I don't think it is. Maybe he starts Duran, but look, we've got a settled team now. I don't know. We're going to have to retire the team sheet tantrum or something that's coming up soon, because like there isn't any tantrums on it. But couple of other bits of news I think during the week was the best named player in the whole lot of the academy signed a professional contract today. Woody Burgess is a fella from South Tipperary. That's a name from cowboy country in Tipperary here in Ireland. I love that name. And anybody who's seen The Snapper as well will have a little giggle at Georgie Burgess. Georgie Burgess, yeah. He signed a contract. He's very, very highly thought of, actually. Really highly thought of. And another guy who's obviously highly thought of by Unai Emery is Caden Young, and he signed a long-term contract as well during the week as well. So we've tied him down. I think realistically, when we look at that academy, there's one big, massive name still sticking out that hasn't signed a contract, and hopefully the club can get something done with Roy Wilson soon as well, because the man scored against Young Boys during the week as well in the UEFA Youth League, which we didn't win. But look, he's a talent. We've all seen it. Like, whenever you watch him play, he's just a real striker. And hopefully the club can tie him down as well with a professional contract too.
You'd have to hope so, wouldn't you? He's really on. Well, we've said that so many times about strikers, and none of them have really come to fruition. But he has all the signs of being a different animal altogether. So we would hope that the brain trust are looking after that one and giving him at least what he deserves.
I have no problem with them going and knocking on somebody's door. One of the old guys, Villa guys who used to be in one of the Villa firms, and telling them, give them a visit and say, if you sign for another team in the UK, you're in for it. Go abroad. Do not sign for another team in the UK. We'll follow you to Manchester if you do, because there was rumours Man United were interested in it. Look, I just think that he's probably going to be he's going to be well served at Aston Villa. You know, yes, he might have to serve an apprenticeship going out on loan and stuff like that. We would hope that it wouldn't be a case like Louis Barry, where he's to wait at least 21, 22, 20, well, not 23, because Louis Barry isn't 23 to go out on loan, but see what Louis Barry is doing at the moment. Know that he's kind of gotten himself straightened out, and as Monaco have just beaten Barcelona 2-1. With a guy who I did a scouting series on, George Ilinakane, I think is how you pronounce it. The young guy they signed from Royal Antwerp for 10 million, which is a fucking steal. When he's 17 years of age, he scored a goal that won the game for them. So maybe I'm doing something right. Maybe I'm doing something right with these scouting series. Anyway, Paddy, is there anything else that we do we need to go down through? The worst thing about Unai Emery is these previews and team sheet tantrums. They're getting shorter and shorter because we've nothing to talk about, because we can nearly pick the team tonight. Like,
well, what's going to happen now over the next few weeks, because we're playing Saturday, Saturday again. We're going to have so many podcasts. We won't know what to talk about. But I'll tell you when the changes will come around, and that's next Tuesday. We're going to see huge changes. It's an obvious one that we will see a number of those players who've been sitting on the bench. I'd even go as far as saying as Joe Gauci, right up to John Duran, will probably start on Tuesday. So we'll see how far down the pecking order. Well, you'd have to think that whatever we put out on Tuesday would be enough. But then again, there's been a few teams rocked. Everton have been rocked. Spurs were nearly rocked. Yeah. So you got to be careful with that. Fulham were beaten by Preston. Memory serves me correct. That long marathon penalty shootout. So there is teams dropping, and obviously it's a chance at silverware. And I don't want us to cough anything up that doesn't need to be. But look, we'll save that for probably Monday night. So we're going to have a busy few weeks talking about it. But as you say, it when there's very little to talk about, it becomes harder. So if he doesn't rotate the team, which we're not expecting, then we'll use it as an opportunity to chat to the guys in the chat room, and we'll just talk about that.
Exactly, yeah, and there's bones of 400 people watching this now as well, which is absolutely fantastic. And Paddy, I wanted to say yes, exactly. I was just about clicking it there. Matt Hallinan came up with the goods again, so thank you so much, Matt. We regularly get Twitter DMs and chats on Twitter and stuff like that from people saying, somehow I've just had a subscription for your podcast. I don't know where it came from. So if you've gotten one, it's most likely come from Matt. I can guarantee you that. But so thank you so much for that, Matt. Really appreciate it.
Really appreciate it. Yep.
For sure, guys. If you haven't seen the Aston Villa women's team start off tomorrow night with a tough assignment against Chelsea. And Paddy and Freya and Emily did a wonderful preview of the season. It was released on Monday. No, it wasn't. It was released on yesterday. So if you haven't gotten to go and take a look at it, it's only up on YouTube at the moment. I think because there was some issue with it being loaded on Spotify and Apple Music, but I'll get that done. I'll try and get that resolved as soon as I possibly can. But yeah, the two girls came on and they gave an absolutely brilliant synopsis and brilliant review of the Villa women's team, and it's something that we want to give as much focus to, shall I say, on a weekly basis at least, as we do the men's team this year, because there's been a lot of investment. Villa have gone away and signed a Brazilian striker for $250,000, which is huge money in the women's game. And Paddy, we forget sometimes while the men's game is constrained with PSR, you can spell like a drunken sailor in the women's game if you want, because there's no PSR there. So Chelsea did it again this season with women's team too, and just be interesting to see where Villa end up this year, because they've made some smart signings, new manager, new backroom team. Sean Goater, you were talking about David Fairclough there a while ago. Sean Goater is one, like, hashtag Barclays man. He was definitely.
I don't even think he's old enough to be Barclays man, is he?
Oh, he would be, yeah, surely. He played back with like Barry Hales and all those. Yeah, he might even be too old to be a Barclays man, is right, yeah. But he's part of the backroom team too, as well, with Robert DePau also. So it's it's an exciting season. Starts tomorrow night. I am looking after the Chislers tomorrow night, where my missus.
And for those who are sitting at home tomorrow night, the game is live on BBC, so there's no excuse.
That's what I was going to say.
Have a look. So yeah. And for those that don't know, if you do get a chance, sit down and have a look at the season preview. And one of the biggest things that comes out of what they've done with the women's team this year is they're going to play all their home games, all their league games at Villa Park, which is incredible. And it's just, we go through the whys of that's going to happen. So if you get a chance, have a look at it and see what you think, and by all means leave a comment and get involved in the comments below, and give it a like. And and to fair play to Emily and Freya for coming on and having a chat about it. Freya does a women's football podcast herself, so they said they may come back if I'm nice to them. So hopefully we'll get them on a few times throughout the season. Maybe not for every game, but maybe if we get them every few weeks, it'd be great to have a chat with them.
Absolutely, for sure. So that's going to do it for us tonight, guys. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining and for watching. I've got a funny feeling I'm supposed to do. Oh, yes, I am supposed to do something. So it's the 19th of September, and tomorrow is the 20th. So that's all I wanted to announce, that tomorrow is the 20th. What I wanted to say was that the draw on our match preview sponsors website, which is footballprizes.co.uk, for the Aston Villa Bayern Munich hospitality. Sorry there. No, I'm just going to pop it up here, guys, so everyone can see it. And then I'll be able to actually speak in English then after that. So the draw is taking place tomorrow for the Aston Villa Bayern Munich complimentary tickets. There is only 104 tickets left. That means there's 55 tickets actually been sold since yesterday for this. Tickets are $3.95 a go, but you'll be in with a chance to win 2 hospitality tickets to Villa versus Bayern Munich in the Champions League. If you are interested, please do go to footballprizes.co.uk. Click on once you go in there, you can click on the magnifying glass at the top. I don't know, can you guys see my cursor? But you can click on the magnifying glass at the top right hand corner there and type in Villa, and this is there. It's the only one that's live and active there. So when you click on it, you can essentially, all you need to do is click on the participate now button. Once you click on there, it'll ask you to sign up and register, and when you do that, then you can pay for your ticket, and you're in with a chance to win 2 hospitality tickets for Aston Villa versus Bayern Munich. So that ends tomorrow night at 7:30. The 10 guys that we gave away the free ones, so you guys have been added in there. I think only a couple of you have come back to me with your names. So if you do win it and I don't have your names, I don't know who to give the tickets to. So we're going to be in a bit of a fucking tizzy there, aren't we? So if you're the likes of LG, I know you haven't come back to me yet. If you're the likes of Sniff Rat, I think everybody else had their real name in there, unless Andy Badger isn't your actual real name. Then give me your names, and I will. If your ticket is drawn out, if your ticket number is drawn out, then we'll be able to apportion the tickets to you. Make sure that they get to you. Now, one thing I will say is that the any of these draws or any of these prizes and stuff like that are only available to people in the UK and in Ireland. All right, so there is a stipulation or a limitation on that as well. Now, if somebody who we give away the 10 tickets to is outside of Ireland or the UK, we're going to sort you out. What we're going to do is if you are drawn out for this, we're going to give you going to get you sent a jersey, a Villa jersey of your choice. With name, number, Champions League badges, whatever else is on it. And but the tickets are only redeemable within UK and Ireland. So that is a stipulation of footballprizes.co.uk and not anything that we have any control over. So just full transparency is all it is. Full transparency, guys. Right, so that's going to do it for us tonight. Or do you have something there, Paddy?
No, all good.
Brilliant. Perfect. So that's going to do it for us tonight, everyone. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. As I say, it's busy couple of weeks ahead of us, Paddy. And, I normally give out about the international break, but maybe we'll take the full international break off this time when it comes around, because there's going to be a lot of games between now and then. But we wouldn't have it any other way. So thanks a million, everyone, for joining. Hit the like button on your way out. If you're watching us on Twitter, go to YouTube and give us a follow on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, go to Twitter, give us a follow on Twitter. And we'll be back again Saturday with Team Sheet Tantrums and post-match podcasts. And you won't miss a beat with us here for Aston Villa versus Wolves. Have a great rest of your evening and stay safe, stay healthy. And all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.